Now, let's break down to the last piece here, because I think it's incredibly important. What we need to understand is that Facebook ultimately amplifies profit opportunity. So what we are trying to do more than anything with any type of campaign that we're running on Facebook or literally any other paid media platform, especially optimized CPM platform, where your goal is not to generate a ROAS, because if you're still running Facebook ads or TikTok ads or YouTube ads on a basis of a ROAS, you are years behind what you should be looking at. Instead, we are looking at intent creation to amplify the volume and quality of the users within our funnel so that we can more effectively monetize the intention that we are creating, so that when we have more cash positive investments that we make, for instance, sales calls or search or email, etc., where our exchange rate on our investment there is far better for our business's bottom line, then Facebook's job is just to amplify that. Just like you think of, well, Facebook, I'm going to run more prospecting so I can get more retargeting. I understand that. Now let's use Facebook properly. Facebook is the entire platform is intent creation, effectively top funnel, so that you can then monetize that attention through search, email, sales calls, whatever. Because those, they're not the retargeting place. They're the mid and bottom funnel of the customer journey. Don't look at it as Facebook has a piece of the funnel and I have a mid funnel and a top funnel and a bottom funnel. It is, what are the steps in the customer journey towards a conversion, especially in high ticket? Facebook's job is the first section of that journey. But ultimately, we have to understand what are the second, third, fourth, fifth steps to get somebody to buy. We should be focusing on making that journey as simple as possible. We should be focusing on making that journey as efficient as possible. But Facebook's job is ultimately to amplify the opportunity of that successful funnel. Now, one of the easiest ways of mapping this out, especially if all of this work is done on a website, is you can use Google Analytics. Now, this is one of the few times where I actually think Google Analytics is of any value. And what you can do is say, of everybody that lands on my initial landing page, how many people make it to step 2? How many people make it to step 3? How many people buy on step 4? Let's say you have a 4-step funnel. And that's a really easy way of saying, I have URL A. How many people from URL A make it to URL B, C, and D? This is called funnel analytics. Now, when you go through that, you're going to see that there's maybe 20% of people that land on landing page A make it to landing page B, and then 80% make it to C, and then like 90% make it to D. Great, just get way more people into funnel A, or make it from 20%, 30 or 40 to get to step B. Once you find out where the bottleneck is in your business, you can ultimately focus on how do I overcome this bottleneck or make that bottleneck more efficient. If I've got a giant hose going down to like a garden hose, down to like just a spigot, if I want to get more coming out the backside, there's a certain spot where I'm losing the majority of the attention that I'm paying for and the attention that I'm generating. That intent is getting lost somewhere down the way. So if we can ultimately figure out where that intent is getting lost, we have the option of either amplifying the volume of people that go into that system, basically saying, well, if I know I get 80% of people that go from point A to point B drop off, but after that, like 75% of people convert and I want to double my business, I probably just need to get maybe 2.5 times as many people in the front end. That's a realistic expectation. I'm probably going to double the business. Now, that is what you use Facebook ads for. So in that case, you're using Facebook ads not to drive more add to carts, not to do more view content, it's not to do more link clicks, but what is that actual action that is step 1 of your business where you know you have a highly converting funnel after the fact? And then how do we choose that as the conversion event of our campaigns? Now, maybe that's lead gen. Maybe that's a sign up. Who's to say that your conversion campaign couldn't be a newsletter? And instead of being a purchase, it could be a sign up or a subscription. Who's to say that that conversion event has to be somebody giving you their credit card information? That conversion event might just be they went from step A to step B. Now Facebook is going to be able to use machine learning to get people who are more likely to go from first touch to step B. Now you're using Facebook's machine learning and database systems to ultimately generate a more effective over time version of getting somebody through that funnel. So Facebook is working on amplifying not only the volume of people that come into step A, but also working on the quality of people so that step A gets to step B faster or more effectively or more efficiently, which ultimately improves the conversion rate of all of the traffic that you're getting down the funnel. So you have to start looking at the funnel in this way. And again, it's not top of funnel, mid funnel, bottom funnel. It is step 1, 2, and 3 in the touch points of your relationship with those people. And the same thing happens in low ticket, but generally speaking, that happens by the ad and then the landing page and then the checkout process. That's step 1, 2, and 3. In high ticket, it has way more to do with the advertising, the development of that relationship, and then understanding the financial and time commitment to get somebody to make that purchase. That's very much the same thing as ad, landing page, checkout, but in this case, it's ad, relationship, and then monetization. Same steps, but instead of top, mid, and bottom, where you're still trying to get somebody to actually want to make a buying behavior, you're trying to get them to the point where you're having a relationship that you can monetize. Then you can work on the quality of your ability to monetize that relationship. Then you can understand where are you really strong, drive as many people to the inflection point of where you are really good. How do you afford to do that? And then you make that inflection point better. And if you can figure that out, which takes time, you are going to be massively successful. In my own personal experience, I've done this to the point where we took a business that was running on average maybe 50, 60, they were doing okay. It was a $60,000 to $80,000 a year plus side business. Good for the solo, they were able to quit their day job. Figuring this nut out, 10x that business in about 8 months. Because we figured out, okay, well, we can improve the volume by about 5x. And then we can improve the inflection point by about 2x. That resulted in a 10x improvement across the business. And it had nothing to do with targeting add to cards, because that doesn't mean anything. I've also done this at extreme high levels of scale, where we were running a 9-figure SaaS business. And we figured out the inflection point was getting somebody to do a trial on the software. Now, somebody had overcorrected before me and tried to get just to a registration to even get into an email address. The problem was that inflection point wasn't highly enough converting. We weren't able to monetize that attention effectively enough. So we then focused on the second inflection point. And we got the cost for a trial down from $60 to $8. The conversion rate after that more or less stayed the same. And the result was the Facebook ad budget went from $3,000 a day to $50,000 a day. That's a 9-figure SaaS business. We ultimately cut back our Facebook budget by over 30 grand a day to save 1 million a month in EBITDA. And it was a tremendously profitable business. But that's the way you need to be thinking about this stuff. So again, if somebody says you need to be optimizing your conversions, they're wrong. If somebody says you should focus on add to carts, view contents, they're wrong. If you're not looking at the stages of your customer journey, figuring out the bottleneck, and then amplifying the volume to that bottleneck, and then the efficiency of it, you're solving the problem the wrong way. That being said, I know this is super helpful. I know this is super packed. Feel free to go back on all of it. I really appreciate your time and energy. If you're still here watching this, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share this to your friends. Let me know anything else I can do to help you out. If you want to work with me, go to links.facebookdisruptor.com, sign up for everything else. And hey, if you're watching on YouTube, they say that you might like this video or that playlist, or maybe it's that playlist in this video, who knows? And, hit that button, subscribe, ring the bell. I'll see you on the internet.